All right, so it's 5:58 a.m. Houston time. Good morning, Niranjan. It's 4:26 p.m. here, and the countdown clock is on our screens here. In 3 hours from now, that big event will get underway. Tell us what you're seeing around you. We know the gates have opened. We know the cars have started trickling in. Republic Media Network is probably the first media network to land there. The biggest. Will be broadcasting live from the biggest media enclosure inside the NRG Stadium. Over to you, Niranjan.
Thank you, and good morning from here, Sagarika. It's just about 5:58, you're right. And, in a few minutes from now, we'll be allowed to enter the NRG Stadium. That's the NRG Stadium, by the way, which is inside me, where we will be broadcasting from, where the Howdy event is kicking off in a few minutes from now. The reason I say it's kicking off in a few minutes from now is that, there will be performances that will begin as early as 8 a.m., we are told. So the countdown has begun. And this is the final this is what we've been building up for. Behind me, what you can see behind me there, that's the media enclosure. So we are being told that the Secret Service isn't allowing the media as of now. They want to allow start allowing the media a little after 6 a.m. A few minutes from now. And just to tell our viewers, about our coverage this morning, we're divided into two teams. Of course, the Republic Media Network is here as one, and Aishwarya and me will be on the 8th floor, giving you a bird's eye view, and we've been showing you where the enclosure is. And what I will do also is try our best to give you a live shot from the floor of the stadium. So we have an additional crew which will be live from the floor of the stadium, right at the bottom. So right on top of the stadium, we'll be live from the 8th floor, giving you the bird's eye view, getting all the guests from the enclosure. And from the bottom of the stadium, we'll tell you what's happening around. So we have our own cameras, along with all the international media here, the American media rather, and the other media houses that are here from different countries. And we've managed to get a spot for ourselves where we will be from the bottom, at the bottom, giving you the full picture, and we'll try and give you. This will be a dedicated camera for Republic TV, so we don't have to rely on any media agency. So that's the good thing. And behind me, of course, this is the NRG Stadium. This is the parking lot, and nothing much to show in the parking lot, Sagarika. But I can just tell you that the entire media contingent. We were first. We reached here first. And we got ourselves accredited. We got our badges. This is the badge. This is the entry badge. Of course, they're a little strict about the norms and the security, protocol here. So we can't really take off these badges as well. During the broadcast from inside the enclosure, we will be also speaking to a lot of guests, a lot of VIPs, a lot of influential people from the Indian American community. Now, all of that is going to start in a few minutes from now. But first, the first step is to from here, get inside the NRG Stadium, and once we get inside, we'll go to our enclosures. We'll set up our camera units, and we will be live. We will be live, and as the stadiums fill up, you'll see. And I've had the opportunity to cover this once in the past inside the stadium. That was once again that was the Wembley Arena in London, and similar setup, similar enclosure, and a similar event where the Prime Minister was present. So this is going to be quite exciting. Much bigger than that, of course. That was in 2015, and this is 4 years later.
Yeah.
And this is going to be very exciting for us. And we will get inside in a few minutes from now.
Right.
And we'll show you. It's going to be beautiful. You'll see how all the stands will fill up one after the other, and then a sea of people will be there before you know it. Also I've been told that people have already started coming in from different gates. So they will be. I think the gates close at 8 o'clock, so they will all have to be inside before that. There are going to be long lines in a few minutes from now. So we will be live. Stay tuned, and the biggest coverage we've been bringing you from Houston. It all comes down to today. 50,000 people inside the stadium. It's going to be, when we meet 7 or 8 people, and they say Bharat Mata Ki or Vande Mataram, and it makes so much of a noise on the streets of America when barely people, it's silence everywhere, and they've been making so much noise. Just imagine 50,000 Indian Americans inside the stadium roaring before and after the speech. Now, this is going to happen. This is going to be quite an event. It's we've been calling it the Super Bowl Sunday, and a Super Sunday for India here in Houston. So handing it back to you on that note, Sagarika, with the promise that we'll get you the best coverage and the biggest voices in the next few hours. Stay tuned. 6 a.m. Houston time. It's 4:30 p.m. in India. and we go all the way up to 3 p.m. That's when we'll be chased out of the stadium.
Yes,
All
and
the
stay
media
with us,
houses have been
Niranjan,
asked
as
to
we
leave the
get
stadium at 3 p.m.
yes. Stay with us. He's going to go inside in minutes from now. We've shown our viewers we have the passes. Niranjan has the passes. Our teams are ready. We're just gearing up to go inside. The gates will open and it's going to be houseful in Houston, Niranjan. There, Niranjan has his passes and he's showing it to our viewers. So stay tuned. We'll get you the first report in minutes from now. Handing it over to Sakal. Watch the Mumbai, Houston, Delhi live here on Republic Media Network as we build up to Howdy Modi.
Yes. Niranjan, we won't let you go in so quickly because the viewers were just tuning into this broadcast. Remember, in one of your reports, you said colors of India, spirit of India, but the only thing different, it's Houston. We envy you as journalists, but Niranjan, over the last 48 hours, it's extremely exciting. And on Republic TV, Niranjan Narayanaswamy has kept up the promise. He's been leading the coverage. You got us the mayor, you got us the governor of Texas. Today, Niranjan, how is the excitement finally building up? Because you're going to go inside in a few moments from now. What we also want to know, Niranjan, from you is, how are Americans looking at it? Because Indian Americans are supremely excited. The lawmakers there are really, really looking forward to it. What about the Houston? What about the Americans in general?
Well, generally, the feedback that we get from here in America is that, and I'm only talking about the American media, and I'm talking about generally the people that you meet, American citizens. They have a lot of interest around India, and it's always been the case ever since Prime Minister made that statement in 2014. Remember the big Madison Square Garden address? That's when he made a statement, came here, and they've been talking about it. The biggest headlines here in America back then also was similar to what we are, hearing from them now, that it's a rock star welcome, sort of a rock. It's kind of a rock star event, and like I've been saying, this stadium hosts the biggest events as far as football is concerned. Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl is one of the biggest events. It is the single biggest event that is held on American in media in terms of the coverage. So this is nothing short of that. This is a Super Bowl Sunday for Indians, and they will be watching very closely because they know that no one else, no other leader has come here. No other leader has come, a foreign leader, and made the kind of statement that Prime Minister Modi has. And only the Pope, by the way, mind it, it's only the Pope who's come here before this and received this kind of a welcome. So it is big, and they know it is big. It's not easy for 50,000 Indian Americans to be inside a stadium, and it's not easy to organize an event of this scale. And that is why yes, they all are curious of how they pulled off such an event, and they say that is your Prime Minister popular? Is that he seems to be very popular, and
yes,
he seems to be having a lot of support here, and they're very curious because they've never heard of something like this, and they say Modi, and yes. Yeah, and they say, okay, man, he's some kind of a rock star. He's very popular, must be really popular. From the drivers that we encountered to some of the common people that you meet maybe at restaurants and when you meet them over the counter, they have a lot of curiosity around this event, and they know that it's going to be a big event. And yesterday when we were speaking to a couple of people here, they said, how do we enter? Can we enter? Can we look at this? They know it's going to be one big celebration, an extravaganza, and they love it. They love it. Yesterday when I was at one event, this was a function at a community hall where there were thousands of people, nearly 3,000 or 4,000 people, and there were people, there were American guards outside, and it was the Garba, and they were slowly grooving to the music, just standing there outside and just shaking their heads and just looking at the celebration. They love it. And when they know that there are 50,000 people inside this with so much of a cultural program lined up, it gets all the more bigger. I'm leading into a short break right now, Sakal.